But do a Trachon know that today is the real reward for you? In my heart, I silently exclaimed, getting married is truly a miracle. This time, she used practical actions to teach me that she can obviously be very simple, but can also be as difficult as heaven. Half an hour later, finally able to go out, she personally drove me to the Hoa Kim side gate. Before getting off the bus, she kissed me hard again, so hard that the top of my head went numb. Oh my God, I'm really about to run out of energy, tired of dragging my body back to school. Until the figure disappeared behind a corner, I dared to walk normally, hiding behind the wall, looking around to confirm that she had left. At this point, I breathed a sigh of relief. Anyway, if caught, the only thing left to do is attack first. Must replenish energy first. But just after taking 2 steps, he was recognized. Who said yesterday I drove a supercar and blatantly scolded the school beauty? Lu NH was filmed and is on the school forum. Isn't this Mr. Tran? Did he drive a supercar to school yesterday? Why were he so proud yesterday? What's wrong? All the money he earned is gone, and then he drags himself to school like this to be punished? Bandits. Because he wanted to impress, he dared to insult others. Who do you think you are? Putting on a new outfit, it was still Lai Van Tung leading a few people to block in front of me. He is Lai Hao's henchman, and he is as crazy as Yen. The decision to expel has been made. I had to go to school to handle the matter, so I had to go to the street near the administrative building where they were waiting to humiliate me. But I didn't pay any attention to these idiots. I just walked past them, never putting them in my eyes. Seeing me calmly walking by, they looked dissatisfied, but I no longer cared. How can Lai Van Tuong leave me in peace? He was about to continue causing trouble with me when suddenly there was a noise from afar. Lu Nu Yen was approached by a group of people. Lai Hao stood right next to her. Tran Shrake, are you planning to go to the office to receive the expulsion decision? Huh, you're kind enough to bring it for me. One glance at Lai Hao, without even thinking about it, I knew he didn't have any good intentions. Sure enough, before I could react, he threw the file on the ground and smiled provocatively. I almost forgot. Tran Shrake, it was you who destroyed my protective experimental sample, causing me to miss my chance. Just get expelled? That's too light. Now kneel down and kowtow to me 30 times, then shout, I'm an idiot, then run around the school 10 times without wearing anything. This statement is truly an insult. Before I could react, Tran Tien Van arrived at school from afar. I was surrounded by a crowd, but she was rushing to drag me to Bacton Hospital. So she rushed into the crowd, trying to pull my hand. Tran Shrake, come with me now. Avi, I suspect she dodged, causing Tran Tien Van to almost fall in front of many people. She almost lost face. Tran Tien's appearance did not surprise me at all. In my previous life, I took the blame for her, and was eventually humiliatedly expelled from school. The doctor now, as soon as I met her, wanted to drag me away and force me to give Tran via blood transfusion, causing me to miss the opportunity to overthrow Lai Hao, destroy experimental evidence. I'm not as stupid as before. Without saying much, I threw her dirty hands away. Tran Tien Van was angry, but thinking that she still needed my blood, she gritted her teeth and softened her voice. Atrake, don't make things difficult for each other anymore. That guy has some self-respect. You and I have nothing to do with you. I'm not your younger brother either. Don't claim to be related indiscriminately. Remember, I broke up with Trangia. Tran Shrake, don't force me. TT. You, in front of everyone, I'm your sister now. I told you to go east, you can't go west. Having said that, she rushed forward and tried to grab my hand. I suspected the cold person dodged again, but this time I calculated the angle. Waiting until Tran Tien Van rushed forward, I gently stretched out my leg, causing her to trip and fall, causing her to fall right onto my expulsion file. Even so, I discovered that the document was not signed. That means the expulsion order has not yet taken effect. Immediately, I understood Lai Hao. This document is a copy only. Even though the board of directors agreed to expel me, the decision still hasn't been made without the principal's signature. It's ridiculous. They think they can flip. Waiting for you. Dare to make me fall numb. Do you want to die? That's enough. I don't have time to stay here and watch you perform. Lai Hao's experiment was ruined because you had nothing to do with me. This time I won't take the blame for you anymore. It's you who got expelled. Tran Tien Van. The truth was revealed right in front of many people. Tran Tien Van's eyes widened in horror, slipping away. She couldn't believe I was so random. But her eyes quickly stopped on the documents under her hand, picked it up and looked inside, accusing me of intentionally destroying Lighthouse experiment. She was suddenly stunned, then remembered that the last time she visited the laboratory at Hoa Kim University, she had indeed accidentally touched a certain device. But at that time, Tranvi told her that it was just a machine, not important, just leave it there, the teacher would handle it for her, so she didn't think much. But my cold and sharp attitude at this moment made her unable to open her mouth to explain. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. At that moment, Lu Nu Yen, who was curious about the story, quickly ran to help Tran Tien Van up. Ms. No, are you okay? Tran Shrake, I know you're under pressure to be expelled from school, so you're out of control and attack people, but you can't unjustly accuse others. Ms. No, his dignity. It's true that I can't accept your feelings right now, really. Sorry, Lu Nu Yen gently reproached, her voice full of gentleness, but every word led everyone to misunderstand, completely distorting my meaning. At this time, there were too many people chatting, finally attracting the attention of the council chief. Immediately after that, the chairman of the council, Hua Vin Quang, let the crowd out and shouted loudly. What are you doing here? Where are the council records? Who authorized Lai Trantrake? Come see me immediately. Immediately, the crowd automatically moved to both sides. I still stood still, slowly raised my hand, and waved at homeroom teacher Hua, showing a harmless expression. Hee. Master Hua, why are you looking for me? Headmaster Hua narrowed his eyes and assessed me from top to bottom. Trantrake, is it you? So I have no parents, no family. My household registration number is only me. I live alone, not bothering anyone. I shrugged, my tone lazy. As soon as these words ended, Tran Tien Van couldn't help but frown. Trantrake, stop causing trouble. The matter of sabotaging Lighthouse experiment was a misunderstanding. Avi said he would go explain to the professor. But he is inherently sick, so he probably accidentally delayed this matter, making you bear the blame and almost get expelled. It was my fault. I will go with you to the council to explain everything clearly. At this time, Tran Tien Van knew he was being reasonable, so his attitude softened and was no longer arrogant. I curled my lips and smiled coldly with contempt. Fulfilling your responsibilities is a matter of course. Don't act unfairly with that fake tone. Are you a plastic bag? Why are you so good at pretending? You've done so little, you're probably stealing documents. If the professor gets caught, I have to take the punishment. Cleaning the entire experimental building, cheating in class, going over the wall to prank the security guard, all sorts of things. How many times have I been punished for you? Tran Tien Van, I've had enough. As soon as these words came out, Tran Tien Van couldn't help but clench her hands. Her voice was hoarse and questioned me. I make you bear the blame? It's really my fault, according to Avi's research, that he had to work hard for a week straight while sick. How could you be so cruel? Even a sick person's report is not spared? Tran Shrake, you make me so disappointed. That's Tran Wei lying. I won the gold medal with my own strength. I can prove it in any way. If I can prove that I did not steal or sabotage Lighthouse experiments, then how will those who fabricate and slander be dealt with? The whole crowd stood there breathless. Everyone wanted the homeroom teacher's face to become more and more unsightly at this moment. If we really misunderstood you, I will personally apologize, and how severely will those who led the false report be punished? Master Hua, that's not enough. I want their records to have traces of Hoa Kim University's violations. Trantrake, on what basis do you claim innocence? Tranvi's research notebook also has detailed experimental drawings, all of which are being saved as yen data. And you have nothing. How can you prove that you are the designer? Immediately, adding fuel to the fire, Headmaster Hua's face darkened. He immediately summoned all the students involved to the classroom. Trantrake, just now Lu Nu Yen submitted the research drawing. I have checked every detail in detail, and it completely matches the research results. Do you have anything else to say? The dean shouted angrily. Furthermore, the bonus has already been transferred to your account. If so, you should immediately hand over the 20,000 yuan right now. As a human being, you must have integrity. Don't be shy about keeping things that don't belong to you. The head teacher patted the table and added sternly. They immediately concluded that I committed the crime out of greed. Sorry, I can't pay. I used the money to buy a ring for my wife. I shrugged my shoulders, showing helplessness, as if I had no other choice. At this time, Tran Tien Van finally lost patience. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth and criticized me. I can't even pay 20,000 yuan. In honor of you being my younger brother, I'll show you a way. Quickly borrow money to pay back the school right away. If you can't borrow money through the official channel, then go borrow at high interest. In any case, you no longer have any integrity. Only then will you learn the lesson. I see you have too much free time, Tran Tien Van. Why don't you try going to the cow market to work? I see you're very good at exaggerating. Also, how many times have I said it? The gold research medal is mine. This bonus is what I deserve. I'm spending my money. Don't pretend to be a king and point fingers. Look at yourself. What are you? Don't forget that you've already admitted that you made me take the blame. You'll see how the school will handle it. How? Saying stupid things. Maybe I'm still telling the truth. I did not show any respect and objected bluntly. My position was so overwhelming that the entire hall became silent. The school board members looked tense. Tran Trake said he did this research, but where is the evidence? Seeing the unfavorable situation, Lu Nuyen immediately took action. She pretended to be gentle and gave me a card. Tran Trake, you spent all your money because you wanted to pursue me, right? Then I also have responsibility in this matter. 1,000 yuan is considered as compensation for you. Can you accept my apology? Looking at her ridiculous antics, I almost burst out laughing. Go away. Where are the 20,000 yuan? Are you ready? Why are you standing here adding to the script? Do you think this is a stage for overacting? Lu Yen, yesterday you knocked on my car door, clung like a puppy, smeared my car, and reduced the value of that 200,000 S. Haven't you asked for it from your adoptive father, or is the service not good enough? I have no hesitation in exposing your hypocrisy, not giving Lu like Yin any face. Hearing that, her face immediately turned pale, her whole body swayed, and she almost couldn't stand. I was clearly scared to death. She was afraid that I knew about her and Tran Vi, and Lai Hao. As a person who was as infatuated with Lu as Yin, immediately ran to help, playing the role of a hero to save the beauty, showing a protective appearance. Lai Van Tuong received Lai Hao's signaling eyes and immediately rushed forward to punch me in the face. I quickly raised my chair to block his punch. Hey, Lai Van Tuong, let me tell you some shocking news. Your girlfriend has long been cuckolded by Lai Hao. I've seen them go to the hotel for a date with my own eyes. Yet you're still here being a loyal dog. As soon as these words ended, Lai Van Tuong's face immediately changed, and he turned to Lai Hao. The two glared at each other intensely. Less than a few seconds later, they were fighting. The whole classroom was in chaos like a battlefield. At the same time, Mok Tin was working at the headquarters of Mok T Group. General Director, this is the 72nd document that you have rejected. How about a little day off? Dare to breathe heavily. Sure enough, not long after, Mok Tin began to lose control. Chu Nin and Old Hua were completely unable to cope, so they quickly called me by video. As soon as I saw the incoming call on WeChat, I thought Mok Tin missed me. Without hesitation, I immediately turned off Chu Nin's call, planning to find a quiet place and call back later. While the classroom was still in chaos, I quietly left for the roof of the administrative building. After that, I dialed Mok Tin's number. Unexpectedly, the call was received immediately. The moment she picked up the phone, Mok Tin suddenly took a deep breath. Her almost out-of-control mood made me unbelievable. I took the initiative to call her again. Love baby, I miss you. At this moment, Mok Tin's cold pupils moved slightly when she heard my voice. Just her voice, she immediately wanted to take me over. Only when she regained her composure did she realize that I had just said that I missed her. What do you want to eat tonight? After finishing school, I'll go to the supermarket to buy things. Don't worry, you'll be back very quickly. Based on my understanding of Mok Tin, I immediately realized that something was wrong with her mood. So, I deliberately used a gentle, patient, and clear voice. But inside I felt restless. After all, Mok Tin is sometimes easy to coax, but sometimes it's so difficult that it drains her energy. In the end, I had to close my eyes and accept my fate, let it go. At worst, he is bedridden and cannot let his wife go hungry. Tin, I miss you like crazy. Didn't you just eat enough? Can we have another meal tonight? While comforting my sick lover, I couldn't help but feel a little guilty. This is really not the time to discuss serious matters in broad daylight. Atrake, I miss you too. That's right. Atrake, if you need money to buy ingredients, I will have someone unlock the extra card for you, so that Shunin can handle it right away. You can swipe whatever you like. Previously, I didn't know which car you liked, so I bought one of each type and put it in the basement. Now the key is still there. If you like, you can choose another one yourself. As for the clothes, shoes, watches, the things I prepared, you don't seem to like it very much. Well, let me buy them all new. Older brother. Mach Tin spoke decisively, without any hesitation. Except for her crazy love for me. She has never loved anyone else, nor does she know how to please a man. But she heard that money can solve most problems, so she immediately practiced on me. Unfortunately, I never paid attention to that before. Actually, she doesn't need to be like that. I'm your man. I have to spend money to make my wife happy. Don't worry, I can still take care of this little bit of money to support my wife. And in the future, I will earn a lot of money to buy gifts for you, so that I can stand next to my treasure, not letting anyone disagree or say bad things about you. I spoke in a sincere and firm voice. Atrake, whoever dares to speak ill of you, I will cut out his tongue. Tintin, don't worry, no one dares to say anything to you. I just want to have my own career so that I can become someone worthy of you in the future. You're so good, I can't keep being incompetent. I like to eat whatever Atrake makes. I'm not picky about eating. Mach Tin suddenly felt like a little girl who had just fallen in love for the first time, being played with by me until her whole face lit up. Then how about I make something special tonight? Everyone listened to Mach Tin and obediently nodded. At this moment, Lu Nuyen appeared on the field and saw me secretly calling. Her face showed doubt, but she thought I was deliberately playing tricks. So Lu Nuyen stepped forward with an arrogant expression. Trantrake, are you deliberately waiting for me? I told you. Our relationship cannot be known to our friends at school. Why do you have to defame me to force me to admit that I am related to you? You can love me, but you can't stop others from pursuing me. Come on, stop being jealous. Just buy me another leg bag, and I will forgive the words that just insulted me. Hearing that, my eyes widened so much that I wanted to turn the sky upside down. What the hell is this? If you're sick, go get it treated. I'm not a veterinarian. Trantrake, stop pretending. I know you're angry because your research was given to Tronquois, but I also have my own suffering. Come on, don't be angry anymore. I'll have dinner with you by candlelight today, okay? Lu Nuyen confidently leaned close to me. Lu Nuyen, listen, I already have a wife. Not only is she more beautiful than you, but her figure is also far better than yours. She is 4 times richer and more powerful than you. So how can she be compared to my wife? Quickly look in the mirror and look at your face again. Do you think I will play soft and tight with you? Is it because you are thick-skinned, or because you are a despicable green tea girl? At this time, I didn't show any respect and directly insulted her. Trantrake, I don't believe it. Today you have to tell me clearly why I'm so beautiful and yet I'm treated as a joke by U.S. University. Are you blind? Lu Nuyen, the thing you are most proud of is your beauty, right? Compared to my wife, you are nothing. I smiled faintly and scornfully, then pushed her away. I held the phone tightly, bowed my head a bit nervously, and quickly explained to Mach Tin. Tin, listen to my explanation. I have nothing to do with Lu like Yen. I chased her away. I swear from now on, I only have you in my heart. She has long since ceased to be important. Even though I tried my best to explain, inside I was still feeling uneasy, because I understand Mach Tin's crazy possessiveness. At this moment, she was sitting in her office chair, arbitrarily pressing a button on the keyboard. A navigation map immediately appeared on the screen. The location on the map is Hoajin University, and the red dot on it is me. Mach Tin tightly grasped the mouse and enlarged the screen. Scenes filmed on the rooftop of the administrative building were transmitted live to the computer. The call hasn't hung up yet. Mach Tin's eyes stared intently at the screen. Shu Nin standing next to him was also worried that I would cause trouble, so he quietly moved behind Mach Tin and observed the situation on the screen. Just seeing me lift my foot, Lu Nuyen stepped forward and immediately, being kicked away, Mach Tin glanced at her, then concentrated on playing the Hong Mach violin. At this moment, Shu Nin, who had been tense for so long, finally breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily the boss didn't do anything, otherwise we would have been the ones to suffer. Shu Nin was so happy that he wanted to dance to celebrate. But my reaction surprised Mach 10. A trach, don't you really like Lu Nuyen? How is it possible? Does he know that I installed a positioning chip on his body and also tracked his location by satellite? Good trach, I'll wait for you to come home. Mach 10 leaned back on the chair and spoke lazily. The corners of his lips curled into a gentle smile. I hung up and returned to the meeting room. Inside, tables and chairs were scattered and messy. It was clear there had been a fierce fight. As soon as I entered the room, the homeroom teacher slammed the table so hard that it almost exploded. Tran trach, don't light the fire. Frying cup, just one worm can make soup pot oil. Whether you make up the 20,000 yuan or not, the school will deal with your bad behavior immediately. I officially announce, Tran trach, you are expelled from school. Headmaster, don't be hasty. I deserve to receive Hoa Kim's Scientific Research Award. It's just that the essay had some problems. It wasn't my fault. Now, the person who should have stood up to confront him, Tran Vi, is not present. So whoever wants to say something can say it. As I spoke, I leisurely walked to the middle of the meeting room. Lai Hao's face was bruised and he was so angry that he was fuming. Tran trach, stop talking nonsense. The school board has made a decision, so whatever you want, go away quickly. I didn't pay any attention, just curled my lips and smiled faintly, looking straight at the homeroom teacher. Anyway, an expulsion order takes 3 days to review, right? And I remember that 3 days from now is the National Scientific Research Competition. And the purpose of the school research competition is to select participants for the National Scientific Research Competition. This is the place to evaluate and foster talent. I heard that the prize for the top 3 is up to 200,000 yuan, and there is also the opportunity to worship Master Lu, a leading researcher, as a teacher. If I can be in the top 3 nationally, then does my school's performance in the competition need to be based on someone else's research? I calmly said these words. The dean promised to think for a moment, but just as he was about to speak, a figure hurriedly pushed open the meeting room door and entered. The person who came was my instructor, Loi Min. Tran trach is a student in my class. I heard about him being falsely accused. With his ability, winning the award is obvious. There is no need to impersonate anyone. On the contrary, third-year Ms. Tran Vi was constantly sick all day long, and even asked someone else to fill out the exam form for her. So how could she study on her own? Immediately, Tran Tien Van heard Loi Min defend me, and his expression changed, and he was also plotted to pretend to be naive. Her face immediately turned gray, and she angrily shouted, "Please respect my younger brother a little. Don't talk nonsense like that. Tran trach, you want to take the National Scientific Research exam in Round V. Isn't it just for 200,000 yuan? As long as you follow me to the hospital right now, I will immediately give you 200,000 yuan. Hearing that, I did not rush to answer, but slowly walked towards teacher Loi Min. The teacher just patted my shoulder and smiled faintly. Kid, you can rest assured and fight. Then the teacher turned to look at the dean. I am willing to vouch for my students. If he doesn't make it into the top 3 nationally, I'll resign immediately. Hearing that, I silently swore to myself that I would definitely not disappoint. After that, I glanced at Tran Tien Van and smiled coldly. Okay, I'll go to the hospital with you. Tran trach, you are still the same loyal dog as before. Now I can't pretend anymore, can I? Are you really that kind? I can't believe it. Okay, never mind. I shrugged, acting like I didn't care at all. As for Tran Tien Van, he was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Okay, I'll give it to C. Tran trach, you're still a loyal dog. I don't want to play tricks with you anymore. Remember, Brother Loi will ensure that I won't be expelled from school for the time being. School board members also left one by one. I breathed a sigh of relief. Immediately texted Tong Kiet. Are you done yet, son? Don't worry, my foster father guarantees 100% quality, original products. Tong Kiet replied with a satisfied smile, looking forward to the drama about to unfold. At this time, Tong Kiet was already standing in front of the meeting room door. I just saw him wave his hand and throw the car keys straight at me. I glanced at Tran Tien Van, who was frozen on the spot, frowned and urged, Go quickly. Why are you still standing there? Everyone's eyes were glued to the car key in my hand. Immediately, they started whispering and discussing. Unpleasant gossip rang out continuously. Tong Kiet heard this and couldn't help but laugh out loud. This is a bunch of blind people. This is a real car key, a supercar worth tens of millions. It's a new gift from Big Brother Trake. Tong Kiet was now full of pride. Just look and you'll know. Just 6 words from snake water on your forehead. My brothers are number 1. But right after that, a series of mocking laughter rang out. Ha ha ha. Tong Kiet is truly Tran Trake's devoted junior. Who doesn't know that the two of them are a pair of condors, both of the same desire? Tran Trake is a fanboy of beauty Queen Lu Nu Yen, and you are a fanboy of Tran Trake, a fanboy of fanboys. So who believes your words? As soon as he finished speaking, Tong Kiet was angry and wanted to argue, but I pulled him away. No need to accept these moss shrimps. Let's go quickly. Having finished speaking, I twirled the key on my finger and walked out of the meeting room with an arrogant look. Passing by Lu Nu Yen, I gently reminded, tomorrow is the deadline. If the money doesn't go into your account, I will print out the booking history of you and Tran Vi, then paste it on the board. My voice is low, not too loud but enough for Lu Nu Yen and Tran Tien Van to hear. Tran Tien Van frowned. He also knew a little about that relationship, but what he was worried about was that Tran Vi's body was inherently weak, always in critical condition, in need of surgery. So how could he be intimate with Lu Nu Yen? There are definitely twists and turns in this matter. You, Tran Trake, you misunderstood me and Vi. Lu Nu Yen spoke up in panic, afraid that I would actually investigate her relationship with Tran Vi. I didn't bother to respond. I strode away. Tran Tien Van could only stand and watch me open the car door skillfully. I sat in the supercar. Tran Tien Van immediately rushed forward to grab the key. Tran Trake, do you have a driver's license? As your sister know, I'm only worried about your safety, so let me drive. I had anticipated this and immediately turned the key to Tong Kiet. Tran Tien Van, I have this driver's license plate. It's also mine. Don't even dream of having any self-respect. Looking at her cunning expression, I knew she was planning to play tricks again. But this time it was exposed in front of everyone. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Don't be delusional. I'm just afraid you'll run away. I was too lazy to argue with her, so I stepped on the gas and drove away like an arrow. Soon we arrived. As soon as I got off the bus from the hospital, I heard the voice calling Mrs. Tran. Zhang Nok Jiao worriedly walked back and forth in front of the emergency room. As soon as I entered the hospital hallway, a bag flew straight towards my head. I immediately quickly pulled Tran Tien Van behind me. A deafening scream echoed throughout the emergency room hallway. Tran Tien Van's legs suddenly swelled up to a large lump, and blood even flowed down her cheek. I'm really sorry. This is your biological mother. Her hitting you is a domestic matter, but hitting me is an intentional act of causing injury. I can completely sue her in court, maybe send her to jail, I said. At this moment, she looked at me innocently and said, Tran Trake, I am a mother. It is natural for me to hit you. Yet you dare to avoid it and still hurt your sister? Can you be so cruel? Look carefully for yourself, Mrs. Tran. You used your handbag to hit your daughter in the head. I avoided it. It was just a reflex. How could you act so cruelly against your own daughter? I reacted. Tran Trake, you dare to scold me. I am your biological mother. You really want to rebel. Then you dare to resist my coaxing words, and dare not to give blood to your younger brother? I gave birth to a cold-blooded and heartless child. At this moment, Zhang Nok Jiao's face was extremely ugly. She screamed, I don't care. Whether you agree or not. That person in there is your biological brother. Now you must go in and save him immediately. As she spoke, she rushed forward and grabbed my arm. I coldly walked away, not letting Zhang Nok Jiao touch me, not giving her a chance. I didn't bother to respond to Zhang Nok Jiao, but went straight to the emergency room door. Right at this moment, the sound of rapid footsteps suddenly sounded outside the hallway. Tong Kiet rushed forward, carrying 2 barrels of unknown red liquid, heading straight towards me. Right after that, I pushed open the door of the emergency room, took a large box from Tong Kiet's hand, then strode straight inside, yanking the curtain. Sure enough, Tran Vi was lying on the bed called the operating table, his headphones still plugged in, not saying a word. I immediately lifted the container of liquid and poured it on Tran Vi's head. The strong smell of blood filled the entire emergency room. Ooh, it feels so good. I'm indescribably high. Doesn't Tran Vi want a blood transfusion? This is the blood of fellow human beings. Today, I give you enough to use. Zhang Nok Jiao was stunned. When she regained consciousness, She rushed into the emergency room. She almost fainted. Tranvi lay on the operating table, his whole body covered in blood, completely engulfed by the fishy smell. Trantrake, are you crazy? She screamed. No, no. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I'm going crazy. At this time, the emergency room was like scene V. Tranvi's whole body was sprayed from the head with a bucket of pig's blood. He was completely frozen. For a while he still didn't react. Even the doctor had never seen such a scene, so he could only stand there stunned. Tran Tien Van, his head still wrapped in bandages, quickly shouted. Quickly help Zhang Nok Jiao, who is dizzy. He almost fainted from anger. Mom, are you okay? Avi, are you okay? Doctor, quickly check my brother. Isn't he in surgery? Now that he's bleeding like this, won't he have an acute infection? Trantrake, if anything happens to my younger brother, my whole family will definitely not forgive you. At this time, Tran Tien Van was completely panicked, but the doctors' faces looked a bit awkward. Because they have a long-term cooperative relationship with Tranvi, even though he is indeed sick, it is not to the point of needing constant surgery or frequent blood transfusions. But if he were exposed right now, his medical career would probably end. The doctors were confused about this and didn't know what to do. Seeing that, I stepped up, grabbed Tranvi's collar with one hand, and pulled him off the operating table. Now, the green tea guy's face was covered in blood. His appearance or expression was completely unrecognizable. He looked truly pathetic. I then roughly tore off his hospital gown, only to see that this green tea guy's belly was completely bare, with no trace of his recent surgery. So clean that there isn't even a single scar. Infection? The wound isn't even infected. I said. Miss Tran even spent a large amount of money to invite me here from Hoa Kim just to make a mobile blood bag. Today there is enough blood for him, and it's free. Increase the amount. Respecting my dedication to serving Master Tran, you should also pay me now, right? I waved my hand and pushed Tranvi, who was looking weak, away. Extend your hand to Tran Tien Van. Tran Tien Van and Zhang Nok Jiao were stunned, staring at Tranvi's stomach, without a scar, without a trace of illness. Avi, what is the meaning of this? Is it possible that your illness is all a trick to us? Tran Tien Van couldn't believe it, looking at me with eyes like she was about to completely collapse. She gasped, her eyes lit up, gradually fading as if all hope was lost. It seemed like he had thought of something and finally realized that Tranvi had been deceiving him all along. When she regained consciousness, her instincts made her want to come closer to me, but my cold eyes made her hesitate. Miss No, what are you talking about? Why don't you understand anything? How could my illness be fake? Actually, I only chose conservative treatment, but this process is also extremely dangerous, so it is necessary to reserve blood as a precaution. Mr. Chach, I know that my family forced me to go to Makare to live with my son-in-law, so you're a little angry at me. I want to hit you, scold you, I'll accept it. Go ahead and do it to me. But my mother is old. If you make a big deal like that, it will scare her. Moreover, over the past years, my mother has had to work hard to take care of me. Even my grandmother knows about my conservative treatment. I'm just afraid that my mother will worry too much, so I hide it. Stop it, Mr. Trake, if you think it's just because I didn't have elective surgery. Conservative treatment is to deceive you into donating blood, so you can easily refuse. You must bully others like that. At this moment, it only took Tranvi a second to quickly find a new reason, and even shed tears as he spoke. So lame. A man who sheds tears is even weaker. I glanced at him dejectedly. His eyes were so red in this performance. He could always cry like green tea. All my life, I have learned why no one liked me in my previous life in the Tran family. Sure enough, his face was still too thin. His bones were too hard. He couldn't pretend to be weak. Zhang Nok Jiao was frightened. As soon as this brave man saw me, he immediately became irritated. You hate to criticize me, Tran Trake. Why did I give birth to a heartless child? Maya Vi doesn't, she said, walking painfully, supporting Tranvi. Without thinking, she immediately believed Tranvi's words. And Tran Tien Van stood behind them both. Her face was gloomy, exuding a thin cold air that made it difficult for others to guess her thoughts. Outsiders don't know, but Tran Tien Van took care of Tranvi when he had surgery last time. At that time, his stomach was wrapped in bandages, the gauze was still stained with blood, and his whole body was extremely weak. At that time, she was heartbroken, but now she saw with her own eyes that Tran Vai's belly not only had no surgical incisions, but even the scar was nowhere to be seen. The truth before our eyes was too clear. Tran Vai is completely lying and deceiving the entire Tran family. This time, Tran Tien Van could not bear it anymore. She rushed up and grabbed Tran Vai tightly. Coldly laughed sarcastically. Haven't you lied enough yet? The so-called conservative treatment, you're not sick at all. You lied to everyone. You're afraid that Tran Trake will return and take back everything you have, right? So you pretended to be sick to push Tran Trake out. The guide Tran Tien Van glared at Tran Vai. At this moment, her worldview collapsed. She once wholeheartedly trusted and loved a kind and honest younger brother, but he turned out to be just a liar. Even though the truth has been exposed, he continues to lie to cover it up. Right after that, Tran Tien Van pushed Tran Vai hard and gave him a heavy slap. The slap was neat and resounding like thunder. Zhang Nok Jiao almost went crazy. She rushed forward and hugged Tran Vai, using her body to shield him so she could block Tran Tien Van's next slap. Tu Van, are you crazy? Vai is your younger brother. He is always gentle and honest. How can he lie? You just came back from Tran Trake. Did he cast some spell on you on the way? Mom, you're the one who's blind, Tran Tien Van said coldly, then looked at me with regretful eyes, remembering everything she had ever done to me. Believe me, I couldn't help it. I clenched my fists, but I didn't bother to glance at her. At this time, she gave me a card. A trach, this is what I promised you. I'm sorry I misunderstood you before. Laugh again. Although Tran Vai and I are identical twins, I was born before midnight and he was born right after, just a few minutes apart, but on a different day. But up until now, for convenience, the Tran family has always let my birthday coincide with Tran Vai's, not because they intentionally forgot, but because they didn't bother to care, because it was inherently unimportant. Just like right now, the password for the card that Tran Tien Van gave me was also Tran Vai's birthday, yet she boldly thought it was fair, but in my eyes, it was ridiculous to the extreme. At this moment, Tran Tien Van's fingertips trembled. Even the card could not be held firmly. The bank card fell to the ground, rolling into a pool of blood on the floor. Immediately after that, Tat walked out of the emergency room like a lifeless corpse. Even though he rubbed shoulders with Tran Mac Van, who was rushing over, there was no reaction at all. As soon as Tran Mac Van entered the emergency room, he touched his hand at the bloody scene before his eyes. Vai, is Tran Trake bullying you again? Yes, it's me, Tran Vai. Don't you need blood? I have more than enough. At this moment, next to me, Tong Kiet was wearing a hand sprayer, his backpack filled with pure fresh pig blood. I glanced at him to signal him, immediately understood, took out my camera and frantically took pictures. Tran Mac Van, if you missed a good play, I will make up for it for free. Look into the camera, I'll water you with a coffin, and the pig's blood will flow down. Tran Mac Van immediately collapsed completely. Tran Trake, you're crazy. What is that? Haha, I'm crazy, I'm not crazy. Not as much as your family last time. I've made it very clear, the Tran family and I have completely severed our relationship. Not even the household registration took away a single piece of paper from you. I have no obligation to give blood to anyone. Today, playing this trick is to give you a little sincerity. Finally, if you dare to come to me for blood again, I will give you a blood transfusion to your heart's content, much bloodier. By the way, I will bring it. These photos are posted directly to the Rich Ladies Association, the Economic Association, and the entire family group for everyone to see your true face. I said it without any formality. The atmosphere on my body has completely changed. Having finished speaking, Tong Kiet and I left the emergency room and the hospital without even looking back. I just feel extremely refreshed. After that, I drove the supercar straight to the shopping center. The money on Tran Tien Van's card is wasted if not spent. I'm not arrogant enough to think that Tran Tien Van's money is useless. Only a fool would refuse money. Come on, son, I'll take you shopping. Just take whatever you like. No need to be polite to me. Not long after, I took Tong Kiet to a jewelry store in a shopping center. The first ring I bought for my lover was a bit simple. Now I will choose a bigger one. When I earn more money in the future, I will buy a bigger one. After all, my wife must have the best things in the world. Even if she can buy it herself, my gift still has a different meaning. A pink diamond ring immediately caught my eye. Even though it's not too big, The diamond water and color are perfect. I calmly pointed at the ring in the glass case and asked the salesperson, "How much is this ring?" "Sir, you have a keen eye? This diamond ring belongs to the store's high-end line, a new model from the designer. Just arrived yesterday. The price is a bit high, 5 million. Brother Trake, you bought it for Mach 10, right? This ring is truly top quality. You can tell at a glance that it is a high-end product. But with her pampering for you, even if you give her a box of cans, she will be happy for several days. So why do you need to buy such an expensive ring?" Tong Kiet burst out laughing. "Tin is my wife. She deserves the best." I finished speaking, looked at the pink diamond ring, and patted Tong Kiet on the shoulder. "Even though I can't buy it now, one day I will buy it for Tin. Oh, isn't this the C2 Tran who used to cause a stir at school? Changing into a new outfit, he looks so handsome. Who do you think you are, coming to this jewelry store? Do you know how high-end this brand is? Just a small ring is enough for you to work overtime for the rest of your life. Can you afford it?" To me and Tong Kiet were about to leave, but were blocked by an unreasonable person. It is none other than Lin Gao, Li Hao's brother. He is also quite interested in Lu Nuyen. It is said that the two have a shady relationship. I wonder, who has such an ugly face? Is it you, the old turtle named Li? Do you think your name is terrible? This is because you opened the tree. It's because of you, husband. Do you think you are a god? Going out today, I really forgot to look at the good days. Everywhere I go I see trash. My eyes are swollen. Tran Shrake, you dare to curse me for not having money, but you're still trying to show off. If you can't afford it, then go away to save face. I'm just helping you realize the reality. High-class places like this are not for lowly people like you. If you're good at talking, can you turn it into spending money? Staff, call your manager here. I bought the ring that this poor dog just saw. I am now a VIP customer of this store. I ask you to kick this cheap thing out. Haha. Tran Shrake, don't be dissatisfied. That person has to be beaten down by life to understand that no one gives him face. Face is something that must be bought with money. You want to save money to buy this ring for New Yen, right? Today, let me teach you a lesson on behalf of society that you can't buy in your whole life. I just need to swipe the card, and it's done. Now go away. Manager, I'll pay. Lin Gao provoked, raising his chin to look at me, contempt clearly evident in his eyes. Don't be too harsh. This shopping center is not your home, so why would you kick me out? At this moment, Tong Kiet couldn't stand it anymore and immediately spoke up. You too, if you're done watching, please leave. We need to make room to serve VIP guests. This manager is truly a fake fox. His tone seems polite, but his attitude of dismissing customers is full of arrogance. Wait, this shopping center belongs to me. Why should I go? I purposely went to Tong Tien Shopping Center for a walk, because this place is right. The second ring center of the capital belongs to Mach T, one of their largest commercial projects, which is also one of the gifts I was given. I come here to spend money with the mindset of letting it flow into my pocket. Who would have thought to meet an idiot like Lin Gao? Then I have to play with him as the boss. Haha. Tran Shrake, this is truly the biggest joke I've heard this year. Do you think this is your roadside grocery store? Who doesn't know that Trung Tien Shopping Center is one of the most high-end malls in the world and also belongs to the largest corporation today, Mach T? You say it belongs to you. So why don't you be a little bolder and say that Mach T's boss lady, Ms. Mach Tin, is your wife? That's ridiculous. I haven't seen anyone yet. How dare you gossip to this extent? Lin Gao laughed loudly. He laughed so much that he fell over. Manager, come here and look at these poor people. They are the owners of this shopping center, probably. His eyes were filled with mockery and contempt, and he blatantly laughed at me without any restraint. At this time, the manager also showed disdain. Sir, do I think you have a mental problem? If you don't have money, don't go to high-end places like this. The staff welcoming you is just a waste of time. Don't waste time serving guests. If you don't go, don't blame me for calling security. As he spoke, he looked at me and threw me away. Who is your immediate superior? Report it. Say that I am Tran Shrake and ask that person to personally meet me. I spoke coldly. Originally, I didn't want to use Tintin's gift to show off, but since they came to cause trouble, I don't mind enjoying some benefits. After all, men also have weak stomach days. Oh, are you Tran Shrake? Tran Shrake, your name sounds impressive. Do you think you can make yourself famous just by your name? Maybe you asked the general manager of Trung Tien International to come specially to welcome you? Don't pretend to be a little older. Ask Miss Mach Tin to personally welcome you. If you brag too much, you'll lose your fun. Trantrake, you're going to make me laugh to death. Lying Gao smiled mockingly, showing the appearance of watching the show. Then he waved his hand to signal the manager, ordering him to call to confirm. Does Trantrake like to brag a lot? Let him brag really big today. He took his phone and went to a hidden corner to open a live stream on the Hoa Kim forum, titled The Boastful Role of Young Master Trantrake. Lying Gao's assistant immediately followed suit. At this moment, the jewelry store manager in front of everyone called the mall's superiors directly. General manager, sorry for bothering you. It's just that there's a guy in my place who calls himself the owner of Trung Tien International. On the other end of the second, the manager in charge of Kwok Luong heard this and immediately felt that this was too absurd and said angrily, "What nonsense are you doing? Our Trung Tien Kwok International only serves top families. Is a nonsense name like this worth calling and bothering me? Or do you not want to be a manager anymore?" The manager immediately turned pale and was scolded for no reason. Feeling extremely angry, he turned to look at me and angrily called security to kick this braggart out. "You're Trantrake, right? Beat him up." The manager spoke while pointing straight at me, angry to the point of losing his reason, but he didn't realize the other side of the phone suddenly went silent for a few seconds. "Trantrake? What?" Wei Fai immediately asked again. "Who said he was the owner of Trung Tien International?" In the office, Guo Luong's face suddenly changed. He jumped up from his chair. Was that person really Trantrake? "General manager, is something wrong?" Veen Kwok Luong, an experienced fox, only took a glance and realized that someone was not knowing enough to tease me. At this time, Lying Gao stood up straight, but when he saw Officer Kwok Luong, he immediately lowered his tail and even bowed his head carefully in greeting. "Uncle Veen, are you familiar with Trantrake? He's just a poor student. You must have misunderstood." Old lie. It's really unlucky to have a child like you. Now crawl over here and kneel down to apologize to Director Tran immediately." Kwok Luong's voice was resounding, cold, and terrifying. Lying Gao immediately trembled. He had been so oppressed that he could not raise his head. He could only bow his head and flatter him, begging for alms. How could he have the right to let him kneel down and admit his mistakes? Furthermore, the live stream is still open. If he really knelt down, the whole Hoa Kim school would know how pathetic he was. Lying Gao's anger flared up. How could he kneel before someone like me? It's just her face that makes her stand out. A cruel thought suddenly flashed in his mind. Suddenly, Lying Gao forcefully pushed Kwok Luong away and grabbed the store employee's sharp scissors, the blades of which were specialized for cutting exposed wire. He rushed straight towards me, sitting not far away, aiming straight at my handsome face. Lying Gao moved extremely fast, almost touching the hem of my shirt, when suddenly a sharp scythe swung straight towards me. The cold scythe pierced the air, cutting off Lying Gao's hand holding the scissors. In the corner of the room, Lying Gao's assistant accidentally waved his hand. The camera lens also deflected towards the door. The bloody scene was completely obscured. Instead, more than 10 men wearing black suits entered, escorting a majestic figure. They automatically separated to make way. That person was wearing a jet black cloak, exuding an overwhelming murderous aura. At this moment, the entire room seemed to have its soul sucked dry. No one dared to breathe loudly. "Atrake, come here." At this time, the livestream room completely exploded. Everyone was shocked by Mach Tin's beautiful appearance. "Oh my god, this is the goddess of Ice Mountain. Is this the female CEO who has hidden plans to take care of Trantrake? It's truly a blessing from heaven. This temperament, this aura is exactly that of a woman. The tyrant CEO, if she wants me to be her dog, I agree." At this moment, a pitiful scream shattered the deadly atmosphere. Lai Hao was horrified, staring at his hand, witnessing it being cut off right before his eyes. Fresh blood spurted out violently, and a soft object fell to the floor. I was also stunned as I watched the familiar scythe pass by. Then there was the sound of high heels tapping down. Everyone's eyes in the jewelry store were immediately attracted. Of course, everyone was scared to death. In less than a minute, the entire jewelry store was surrounded by black bodyguards, and the remaining customers were quickly invited to leave. Amid that scene of heavy pressure, Mach Tin leisurely approached. On high heels, She wore a cheongsam that showed off her perfect curves, full bust, slim waist, long legs, and even matched it with black stockings. I immediately stood up, not taking my eyes off Mach 10. Obviously, when she goes out, she doesn't wear this, black stockings. Who taught her to wear that? I took a deep breath, heard Mach 10 calling me, and obediently walked to her side. Tintin, why did you come here? Ah, Trake, you said you missed me, so I came. Mach 10 gently moved closer to me, the seductive fragrance emanating and enveloping me. At the same time, the high-quality material of the cheongsam gently brushed against me, tightly clinging to my body. Mach 10's arms wrapped around my neck, a domineering move, but because of her soft skin, everything became extremely shady. At this moment, she seemed to turn into a girl. My breathing suddenly became chaotic, my ears became hot and red. Oh my God, this is still a public place, so many people are looking. My body immediately tensed. Mach 10's hand gently slid through the white shirt, gently placing it on my chest. I groaned softly, blood rushing straight to my head. Tintin, don't be naughty, be good, okay? Of course, I couldn't resist Mach 10's beauty, so I had to stop her in time. But in the next second, Mach 10 frowned slightly and let go of my shoulder. After that, she seriously stood up straight, looking like an obedient child. Her voice was as gentle as water. Ah, Trake, if you tell me to be obedient, I will be obedient. As soon as the words fell, everyone in the room gasped in surprise. Could it be that General Director Tin has been tricked? Green beans, my brother Trake really turned the tables. Hearing that, I was equally confused. Since being reborn, although I have become accustomed to Mach 10's pampering, I understand her nature all too well. Every time I gently stroke her hair, my heart also beats wildly. Tintin, bow boy, how should we deal with this man? Undeniably, the feeling of being pampered by Mach 10 like this made me extremely happy and suddenly a bit arrogant. Recently, I have also clearly understood Mach 10's preferences. As long as I give in to her a little, as long as I love her, Mach 10 will be more obedient than anyone. Sure enough, as soon as I called bow boy, Mach 10's sharp eyes immediately softened. A Trake, did you just call me baby? Because you obediently obey? The corner of Mach 10's lips smiled gently. Whoever dares to bully a Trake must of course disappear from his world. It's as simple as that. As soon as Lion Gao heard this sentence, his miserable sound immediately choked up. No, lady, I'm Lion Gao. What exactly do you like about Tran Trake? I have everything he has. As long as you forgive me, I'm willing to be your buffalo and horse. Lion Gao completely collapsed, both physically and mentally crushed. An ugly toad like you. Maya Trake is so handsome, you'll be less annoying if you leave. Right now, Mach 10 didn't even bother to glance at him. She just slightly raised her hand. Chunin immediately understood and knew how to handle it. Lion Gao still wanted to pout, but Chunin quickly covered his mouth with a blow straight to the back of his head. The professionally trained bodyguards wrapped him in a black bag. Extremely fast movements, extremely cool posture, neat service. In less than 2.5 seconds, everything seemed to evaporate from space. The entire jewelry store was now just me and Mach 10 left. I stood in front of the sofa, gulping, a bit nervous, confused and not knowing what to do. Mach 10's soft body approached me again. She took advantage of the situation and pushed me down onto the sofa. Behind her, her hand suddenly touched mine, then guided it along her long legs. The feeling on the hand is extremely smooth and seductive. I immediately panicked. This feeling was like holding a hot potato. I didn't dare to continue. Bow boy, what are you doing? Mach 10 bent down, his domineering eyes locked on me. She gently bit her red lip. Oh my God, who taught her this seductive method? It's like turning on the beauty switch to the maximum. I was immediately completely controlled. A Trake, do you like this outfit of mine? Is Lu Nuyen better dressed like this, or am I better dressed? Hearing that, I suddenly woke up and realized Tintin was jealous. But has Lu Nuyen ever dressed seductively like this? No matter how she dresses, how can she compare with Mach 10's figure and beauty? Tintin, baby, I've been thinking a lot. I've never seen Lu Nuyen dressed like this. But Tintin looks really beautiful like this. I really like it. How much do you like it? A Trake, show it to me. At this time, on Hoa Kim Forum, hot articles are continuously being posted. It all revolves around one topic. Who was the person who raised Tran Trake? Extremely enthusiastic comments continuously filled the screen. At this time, in the dormitory, Lu Nu Yen was surfing the forum. After reading all the posts, she just wished she couldn't fly a plane to deal with me directly. Lu Nu Yen finally saw clearly the woman in the screenshot of the Chong Sam in black stockings. She's also worn it before, but her figure can't be as fiery as Mach Tin's. When seeing Mach Tin wearing the same clothes as her, Lu Nu Yen immediately felt an inferiority complex. Moreover, I was also pampered like a treasure by Mach Tin. This distance made her crazy jealous. At that moment, Lu Nu Yen's phone suddenly rang. Seeing the familiar name on the screen, she immediately hid the dismay in her eyes and gently picked up the phone. Avai, is something wrong? Let's talk about the scientific research competition. The instructor has already informed you, right? Yes, Tran Trake has been discussing development throughout. There's only one final step left to complete. All the documents and the originals are at my place, so I can send them to you right away. At the same time, I was pressed tightly by Mach Tin under my body, as hard as a string. I'm afraid she won't be able to control herself and do something right now. Oh my God, I really can't stand it anymore. We have to make up for this later. Tintin, we need to moderate it a bit. We just ate it and haven't digested it yet. Okay, tonight. I raised my head to look at the beautiful wife right before my eyes. It cannot be denied that Mach Tin's seductive appearance can truly win souls and souls. But it seems my brother is about to open the door. Atrake, don't be afraid. I won't eat you right now. I just want to hug you. Ngang, Mach Tin spoke softly. Let me cook for you tonight. I'll take you to the supermarket. We'll choose the ingredients together, like a normal couple, experiencing the simplicity of married life, filled with warm breath. Atrake, can you really cook with me? But I've never been in the kitchen, so I'm afraid I'll ruin our first dinner. Mach Tin's clear eyes blinked, revealing some worry. Tintin, don't be afraid. I'm here to hold the pan. You just need to stand next to it and watch. After saying that, I immediately carried her out. As soon as they walked out of the jewelry store, the bodyguards immediately widened their eyes in surprise. After that, he looked at me admiringly and quickly pretended to be busy or pretended he didn't see anything. In short, they all acted like they hadn't seen anything. Oh my God, the general manager is a cold ice goddess, skilled in ruthlessness and decisiveness like a sword, yet he let Tran Trake carry him away like this. Most importantly, she is obedient and gentle. Is this still our great lady? Could it be that the eldest lady has been caught by us? Chunin immediately cleaned up the scene. Atrake and I went to the supermarket. At this time, Mach Tin just let me carry her in my arms. In her heart, no matter who I am, she just wants to enjoy this moment. Less than 5 minutes later, the entire supermarket was selected. I watched with my mouth open. I couldn't help but admit that the #1 conglomerate's ability to act was really too strong. When I carried Mach Tin into the supermarket, I immediately put her in the shopping cart. After that, the two began to leisurely walk around. We started choosing ingredients for cooking. I grabbed a large carton of milk and a piece of steak, then picked out some fresh vegetables. Then, throw it straight into Chu Nin's hand who was following. Chu Nin immediately smiled happily. He has followed Mach Tin for many years, but has never seen her so happy. Atrake, what is this? It looks so interesting. Can you eat it? Oh, and what is this? Mach Tin completely transforms into a curious baby. Everything in the supermarket makes her excited. Things that are familiar to normal people are extremely new to her. But actually, this is understandable. From childhood to adulthood, every food she ate was carefully selected by the chef and prepared like a work of art. So she almost never saw the true appearance of the ingredients. After buying the ingredients, I continued to push Mach Tin's cart around the supermarket, patiently explaining to her the most ordinary things. Mach Tin tilted her head happily, waiting for me to explain. Her eyes were filled with anticipation. Actually, she wasn't really interested in these things, but rather liked my gentle appearance when explaining to her. We continued to go to the medical counter of the supermarket. Finally, it stopped. Previously, I used to work part-time at a shopping center, so I quickly found a first aid box. My eyes accidentally fell on Mach Tin's black gloves. She purposely wore it to cover the wound on her palm. At this time, I realized the blood stains on her shirt. It turned out that Mach Tin was injured. Blood had seeped through the silk gloves. In fact, Mok Tin really likes to wear black and dark red clothes. That way, no matter what she did, no one would find out right away. Tin Tin, take off your gloves. I use a commanding voice. The bodyguard standing nearby immediately felt goosebumps. Damn, is this kid crazy? Miss Mok Tin has always only seen him as entertainment. Dare to give her orders. Don't you want to live anymore? A trach, that's not possible. My face was stern, determined to refuse. Gloves must be removed. Gloves must be removed, because otherwise the wound will become inflamed. If so, I will be heartbroken. Finally, under my strict supervision, Mok Tin surrendered. At this moment, Mok Tin's eyes were full of love. A trach, your fierce appearance is great. His affectionate style is also very attractive and very seductive. I really love you. Meanwhile, Chu Nin standing next to him immediately covered his face. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. General Director Tin was drenched in saliva. Has this man been eaten clean by the young lady? But being so clumsy, being seduced makes you feel like you're completely spoiled. I obeyed. A trach, but you must reward me appropriately. I glanced around and saw a dozen bodyguards showing off their acting skills. Immediately pretend to be busy on the spot. Even though the supermarket has been cleaned, the supermarket staff is still here. They all pretended to arrange goods on the shelves, but were actually filled with curiosity. Everyone wishes they had 7 pairs of eyes and 8 pairs of ears just to catch the first scoop. I was actually a bit embarrassed. Too intimate in public, with so many eyes watching. That's it. I'd better just keep my guard up. But I still underestimate Mok Tin's strength. Seeing that I was still hesitant, she sat in the car in surprise, grabbed my collar, and pulled me down. Red lips slid across the white shirt, and then bluntly kissed the lips that she had been shy about for a long time. A trach, compared to eating your cooked meat, I like to eat you more. You are a real delicacy, making people want to take a bite. She kissed me deeply and didn't forget to gently bite my earlobe. The enchanting breath, which must be light, made me completely lose control. In the next moment, I picked her up and angrily carried her to rearrange her. I put her down on the chair and forcefully pulled down the silk glove on her right hand. Tin Tin, you're being too naughty. Hearing that, Mok Tin immediately withdrew her teasing intention and obediently sat still. I expertly applied the medicine to her palm and observed the wound for a bit. I can be sure that she hurt herself. After finishing bandaging, I directly grabbed Mok Tin's other hand and left the shopping center. On the way home, I didn't say a word. When I got back to the villa, my dear, I immediately carried the bag of ingredients straight into the kitchen, without waiting for Mok Tin, without even looking at her. Actually, I'm very angry. Her bad habit of self-harm really needs to be cured. Can't continue like this anymore. Otherwise, no matter how hard I try, nothing can change. At this time, I was stewing soup in the kitchen, when suddenly the phone rang. It was a strange number calling. I had a premonition, knew immediately who was calling, so I immediately turned off the phone, then put that number on the block list. But not long after, a strange number called. I quickly blocked the number again. By the 5th time, I really couldn't hold it in anymore, feeling extremely annoyed with this continuous call. This time, I decided to answer the phone. Sure enough, a familiar female voice rang out. Trantrake, I am your second sister. You still dare to block my number? I will. Tut, tut, tut. I calmly blocked the number again. Hearing this tone, it was like the Tran family wanted to find me to cause trouble. But now I have no obligation to listen to their lengthy moral lectures. More importantly, it has recently affected her stool. She is researching a new drug and constantly doing closed experiments, so she has not been home all this time. She also didn't understand what was going on recently. As soon as she left the lab, she immediately received a call from Zhang Nok Jiao's family, telling her everything I had done in the past few days. The shocking manipulation resulted in Tran Muk then not being able to hold back anymore. She immediately called me to inquire, but only heard a busy signal. I can't believe it, I blocked her number. Unwilling, she changed number after number, but the result was still the same. So when Tran Muk Van made the last call, the phone was connected to Tran Trake. I am me, who are you? I am your father. If you know how, stay away from me. On the other end of the line, Tran was stunned, his mind exploded, his face full of surprise. Meanwhile, in the emergency room, after I leisurely left, only the Tran family and the medical staff remained, covered in blood. Tran Trake is really crazy, thinking that just by clinging to the mock family monster, he can insult his own mother. What a betrayal. Zhang Nokjiao was now mad. She was originally a noble lady, only wore high-end goods, and frequented luxurious places, but now she fell into this sleazy situation. Mom, are you okay? It's all because of me. If I wasn't so weak and needed a blood transfusion, even if it was just conservative treatment, Mr. Trake wouldn't have to suffer. He still had to come and give me a blood transfusion. Don't blame Mr. Trake. He would definitely be abused by Miss Mock in my place. If you don't bully me, you can make him happier, no matter how much resentment I suffer. It's okay, as long as you don't get angry anymore. Otherwise, I'll be worried. To the point of losing sleep and eating. Having finished speaking, Tran Vi, green tea weak, stood up, his whole body covered in blood, with a strong fishy smell. At this time, the entire emergency room was filled with an unpleasant stench that was truly suffocating. But the first person to collapse was Tran Muk Van, because she had a serious case of cleanliness. Finally, she couldn't stand it anymore and said, "Leave the matter here to everyone to handle. I really can't stand this dirty appearance and this terrible smell." Then, she looked at Tran Vi. Clearly he had never had surgery, and his condition didn't look too serious. At this time, Tran Muk Van Nu Duk remembered something. She felt the need to reconsider Tran Vi. Summing up everything today, Tran Muk Van pondered for a moment, then seriously said to Tran Vi, "Ah Vi, I heard everything just now. Why didn't you tell my eldest sister about the conservative treatment process? Does the doctor you found have enough qualifications and medical background for this conservative treatment procedure?" On the surface, Tran Muk Van's words seemed like he was concerned, but in fact he was testing to see if Tran Vi was pretending to be sick or not. In the Tran family, as Ms. C, she is always responsible for taking care of the children. Regarding Tran Vi's illness, she always monitors and cares closely. These words made Tran Vi tremble slightly, but in the eyes of Zhang Nokjiao's mother, this was a warm scene of brothers and sisters helping each other. "Mac Van, you can rest assured. Of Vi's affairs, your mother and grandmother always come first. As for the trustworthy doctor, because Avi has received approval from grandmother, I'm sure they are the best experts in the field I know. Last time, Avi stayed up many nights in a row, personally drawing up a financial plan to help me solve a big problem in my career. But because of that, I was exhausted to the point of getting sick, and I feel sorry for Avi. Avi also told Mom that at that time she was completely willing to help you, because you were the person she admired and respected the most. Seeing the two of you being so close, Mac Van was very relieved. Don't worry anymore. First, go change your clothes." At this time, Zhang Nokjiao stepped forward and unintentionally helped Tran Vi escape scrutiny. Furthermore, she also emphasized that Tran Vi once helped Mac Van overcome difficulties. Therefore, Tran Muk Van's doubts about Tran Vi's illness were immediately erased by a feeling of guilt. "Avi, you can rest assured and recuperate. As for Tran Trake asking for money, I'll let the eldest sister handle it." But Tran Vi quickly spoke up to stop him. "Eldest sister, you're already tired enough to take care of the company's work. Don't worry, Mr. Trake is just angry with us. Well, you see, he came to work but didn't really attack us. That proves that Mr. Trake still has feelings for my family. To him, he's my brother. My biological brother. How can I always hide behind my sister and mother? The doctor just gave me acupuncture, and now I feel much better. Today I can leave the hospital." At this time, Tran Vi stepped forward, holding Tran Muk Van tightly, because the confrontation between me and Tran Vi is always a battle. He wanted to solve it himself, because he always believed that he had enough ability to turn me into a real star. Deep inside Tran Vi's heart, he was always afraid that if I returned, I would take everything away from him. Speaking of Tran Trake, he really gave me a big problem. Tomorrow Tran Trake will go to the Flower Dam, and eldest sister will personally take you to find him. The incident of the company's data system being maliciously hacked is definitely related to him. At this moment, the jealousy in Tran Muk Van's eyes became even sharper, and his dislike for me also increased one level. I decided to block the last call to avoid further disturbances. I turned off my phone and tossed it aside. After that, I put on an apron and continued to be busy in the kitchen. At this time, Mok Tin leaned against the kitchen door and obediently stood still as I instructed. But her eyes became increasingly hotter. Atrake, your waist is really toned. Have you practiced it? Actually, my figure is not bad. Perfect 8-pack abs, sharp lines, just the right style. Wearing clothes makes you skinny. Taking them off makes you look good. But this topic seems a bit delicate. Does this need to be discussed in the kitchen? Not to mention I'm still upset. Mok Tin saw that I didn't answer. So she tiptoed on her red high heels and approached, then stood right next to me, using her long, slender fingertip to suddenly poke my waist. Atrake, why don't you answer me? I tried teasing you, and you're pretty sure. Are you really not secretly practicing? Don't mess around. I'm a girl, not a scoundrel. I immediately stepped aside, avoiding Mok Tin's claws. At this moment, I thought to myself, I'm really brave, daring to directly call the witch's name. In my previous life, I always called her my treasure, my beloved wife, or other affectionate names, but I never called her directly Mok Tin. I am very clear that comforting my beloved wife is the most important thing. In my previous life, every time I called Mok Tin, I was tortured to the core. Patience to the extreme, calling her a female ghost. You pervert, crazy person, or whatever, now you're truly spoiled by her. Atrake, you're very good. At this moment, Mok Tin obediently withdrew her hand, just like a mischievous little girl, deliberately causing trouble to attract attention. After success, he pretended to be obedient and innocent. I suddenly realized that Mok Tin looks lovely too. Our Tin Tin, so good. Having said that, I conveniently gave her a blow. The bowl's gone. It's almost time to eat. Come sit at the table, I'll finish cooking the last dish, and then come out and eat with you. After a while of hustle and bustle, I prepared 4 savory dishes, all of which were of high quality. Tin Tin, you have a stomachache, so eat less raw food. It's best not to eat. In the future you should eat more cooked food. Whatever food you like, just tell me. I will cook it for you myself. Having said that, I stood next to the dining table, raised my hand to fix Mok Tin's slightly messy curls, my eyes filled with love. Before he could finish speaking, Mok Tin softly hugged my waist and pressed her face into my chest. Atrake, you are really so good. I find myself increasingly unable to leave you. Actually, this statement from Mok Tin was a test, because she was completely immersed in the feeling of taking over my mind and eyes. Then never leave again. We are husband and wife. Tin Tin, you don't need to worry that I will cheat on you anymore. From now on, I will use actions to prove it. The rest of my life belongs only to Tin Tin. Every sentence, every word I say, is sincere and serious.